The Chosen One series. Episode 2. Signs you are a chosen one. Recognizing the marks of a called soul. There is something that many chosen souls carry for most of their lives, a quiet, persistent feeling that they are different. Not better, not worse, just different. Like they arrived in this world already searching for something that the people around them did not seem to need. If that feeling is familiar to you, stay with me. Because today we are not going to analyze it from a distance. We are going to walk right into it. And by the end of this, I believe something inside you is going to feel deeply, quietly recognized. This is episode 2 of the Chosen One series. And today we are talking about the signs. Take a breath. Settle in. Let this be a moment just for you. 1. You have always felt different. Not in a dramatic way. Not always in a way you could explain to someone else. But from as far back as you can remember, there was a part of you that did not quite fit the mold. Maybe you felt it at school, surrounded by people your own age, but somehow looking at the world through older, deeper eyes. Maybe you felt it in your family, loving them fully, but sensing that you saw things, felt things, questioned things in ways that left you feeling quietly alone, even in a full room. This feeling of being different is one of the earliest and most consistent signs of a chosen soul. And for most of your life, it may have felt like a problem to be solved, a loneliness to be fixed, a flaw to be hidden. But here is what I want you to consider. What if being different was never the wound? What if it was always the mark? The ones who are called to shift something in this world cannot afford to think exactly like the world they are meant to shift. Your difference is not a defect, it is a design. 2. You feel everything deeply. Chosen souls are almost universally marked by depth of feeling. Where others skim the surface of an experience, you dive. Where others move on quickly, you sit with things, sometimes longer than is comfortable. You feel other people's pain as if it were your own. You walk into a room and pick up on the energy before a single word is spoken. You are moved by music, by nature, by a stranger's expression, by stories that have nothing to do with your own life, but somehow reach inside you and rearrange something. The world may have told you that you are too sensitive, too emotional, too much, and you may have spent years trying to turn the volume down on what you feel, numbing it, managing it, apologizing for it. But sensitivity in a chosen soul is not a flaw in the system. It is the system. It is how you receive information that others miss. It is how you connect with people at a level that actually changes them. It is the very instrument through which your purpose will be expressed. You were not made too sensitive. You were made sensitive enough for what you are here to do. 3. You have known unusual suffering. This one is important, so I want to speak it carefully. Many chosen souls look back at their lives and see a pattern of suffering that seemed disproportionate. Hardships that arrived early, losses that shaped them deeply, battles that others around them did not seem to face in the same way. And it is natural in those seasons to ask why, to wonder what you did to deserve it, to feel, in the darkest moments, forgotten or forsaken. But there is something that chosen souls come to understand, usually not in the middle of the suffering, but in the quiet that follows. And it is this: the depth of your preparation matches the magnitude of your purpose. The wounds you have carried have made you tender enough to reach people who are still bleeding. The valleys you have walked through have given you a map that others desperately need. The fires you have survived have not destroyed you, they have refined you. Your suffering was not punishment, it was tuition. And you have paid for a wisdom that cannot be learned any other way. 4. You have a hunger that the world cannot satisfy. There is an ache in the chosen soul that ordinary life simply cannot fill. You may have tried. A good job, a relationship, a busy social life, achievements that looked impressive from the outside. And perhaps they brought happiness, real happiness. But underneath it all, there was always that hunger. That sense that something was still missing, that you had not yet arrived at the thing you were actually here for. This hunger is not ingratitude. It is not restlessness for its own sake. It is your soul's refusal to settle for a life that is less than the one you were designed for. The world will tell you to be satisfied with what you have. And gratitude is indeed sacred. We will speak about that in its own time. But there is a difference between gratitude and resignation. A chosen soul can be deeply grateful and still know, in the marrow of their bones, that they are not yet walking in the fullness of what they were made for. That hunger is not something to silence. It is something to follow. 5. You are drawn to the deeper questions. Chosen souls do not stay long on the surface of things. You are drawn, almost compelled, toward the questions that most people set aside. Questions about meaning, about existence, about what lies beyond what can be seen and measured and proven. From a young age, you may have found yourself thinking about life and death, about God or the divine, about why things happen the way they do, about what consciousness really is, and whether there is a purpose woven into the fabric of everything. These are not the questions of someone who is lost. These are the questions of someone who is awake, someone whose soul arrived here already oriented toward depth, already pointing like a compass toward the things that truly matter. Your curiosity about the unseen is not confusion, it is calling. 6. People are drawn to you in their darkest moments. Have you noticed that people tend to come to you when they are hurting? That strangers open up to you in unexpected ways? That friends turn to you first when they do not know where else to turn? This is not a coincidence. Chosen souls carry something in their energy, a quality of presence, of safety, of genuine understanding, that people instinctively recognize and move toward. You may not have asked for this role. You may sometimes find it exhausting, but you show up for people anyway, because something in you simply cannot do otherwise. This is the healer in you, the counselor, the guide. It is one of the clearest outward signs that you carry a gift that was meant to serve others, and it has been operating in you long before you had a name for it. 7. You have experienced unexplained seasons of isolation. At various points in your life, you may have gone through seasons where relationships fell away, where your social world grew quiet, where you found yourself spending more time alone than you ever expected, sometimes by circumstance, sometimes by a pull you could not explain. These seasons can feel like loss. They can feel like rejection or failure. But for the chosen soul, periods of isolation are rarely what they appear. They are almost always seasons of internal preparation, times when the noise of the external world is reduced so that the voice of something deeper can finally be heard. In those quiet seasons, things shift inside you. Old versions of yourself are released. New understanding takes root. The clarity that will carry you forward in your purpose begins, slowly and quietly, to form. Your seasons of solitude were not abandonment. They were appointments. 8. You carry a knowing you cannot always explain. Perhaps the most defining mark of a chosen soul is this: a deep, unshakable inner knowing that goes beyond logic and beyond what you have been taught. A knowing that you are here for a reason. A knowing that your life matters in ways you cannot yet fully see. A knowing that, despite everything, the suffering, the confusion, the waiting, you are exactly where you are supposed to be, moving towards something real. You cannot always defend this knowing in an argument. You cannot always point to the evidence, but it is there. It has always been there. And in your most honest, most quiet moments, you know that it is true. That knowing is not delusion. It is not arrogance. It is the soul's memory of its own agreement, the echo of the purpose you carry, reminding you of what you came here to do. A closing reflection. If you recognized yourself in any of these signs, or in all of them, I want you to sit with that for a moment. Not with pride, not with pressure, but with a quiet, gentle acknowledgement that the life you have lived, with all of its beauty and all of its pain, has been shaping you for something. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not too broken or too small or too ordinary. You are a soul in preparation. And everything you have carried, everything you have survived, everything you have quietly known but perhaps never said out loud, it has all been part of making you ready. The chosen ones are not chosen because they are perfect. They are chosen because they are willing. And the very fact that you are here, listening, still searching, still open, is the most powerful proof that the work inside you is not finished. Keep going. You are closer than you think. This has been episode 2 of the Chosen Ones series. Thank you for being here. Until next time, go gently and trust the path. If this message resonates, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more transmissions, elemental wisdom, and spiritual guidance.